Imagine standing in the center of a dense, ancient forest where the canopy is so thick that the sunlight only reaches the floor in scattered, shimmering needles of gold. In this place, you are not alone, though you might feel a profound sense of isolation. You are surrounded by the invisible forces of the cosmos, a grand architecture that has been under construction since the dawn of time. We often think of our lives as a series of random accidents or a sequence of choices we make in a vacuum, but there is a deeper rhythm at play, a celestial choreography that seeks to align our external reality with our internal growth. Sometimes this alignment feels like a warm embrace, a sudden stroke of luck, or a door opening just as we reach for the handle. But other times it feels like a shattering. It feels like the ground is giving way, like friends are turning into strangers, and like the people we once leaned on are suddenly drifting into the mist. If you have been feeling a strange, unsettling distance growing between you and certain individuals in your life, you must understand that this is rarely a tragedy. More often than not, it is a divine intervention. The universe is a master gardener, and sometimes, for the garden to thrive, the weeds must be pulled, and the dead branches must be pruned. This process is not a punishment, though it may sting like one. It is a sophisticated protective measure designed to safeguard your energy, your purpose, and your future. As we navigate the complexities of human relationships, we often cling to people out of habit, history, or a fear of the void. We tell ourselves that we can fix them, that their toxicity is just a phase, or that we owe them our loyalty despite the heavy toll they take on our peace of mind. But the universe operates on the principle of frequency. Just as a radio cannot pick up a signal if it is tuned to the wrong station, you cannot receive the blessings and opportunities meant for your highest self if you are anchored to the low-frequency vibrations of toxic influences. When the universe decides that you are ready for a higher level of existence, it begins to systematically dismantle the connections that would otherwise hold you back. This is the Great Separation, a cosmic filtering system that works in silence but with absolute precision. To understand this shift, we must look closely at the subtle signals that the universe sends when it is time to let go. These are not merely coincidences. They are the language of the soul, whispered through the events of our daily lives, urging us to step away from the shadows and into the light. The first profound sign that the universe is separating you from toxic individuals manifests as a sudden, inexplicable friction in your daily interactions. Think of it as the friction of frequencies. For a long time, you might have moved in perfect step with certain people, sharing laughs, secrets, and a common language. But suddenly, the air between you feels heavy. Every conversation feels like walking through deep water. You find yourself arguing over things that never used to matter, or perhaps you find that their words, which once seemed harmless, now carry a hidden sting that you can no longer ignore. This friction occurs because your internal vibration is shifting. As you grow, as you heal, and as you begin to value yourself more, your energetic frequency rises. Toxic people, who are often anchored in patterns of manipulation, drama, or negativity, remain at a lower frequency. In the physical world, when two objects of vastly different frequencies come into contact, there is a natural agitation. You are no longer a match for their chaos, and they can no longer find a foothold in your peace. The universe creates this tension to make the relationship uncomfortable enough for you to finally want to leave. It is a way of making the nest thorny so that the bird is forced to fly. You might find yourself wondering why they have suddenly become so difficult, but the truth is that they haven't changed. You have. You are seeing them through the eyes of someone who no longer tolerates disrespect, and the universe is amplifying that discomfort to ensure you don't settle for less than you deserve. This friction often leads to the second sign, which is a visceral, somatic response from your own body. We often forget that our bodies are incredible instruments of intuition, finely tuned to detect threats long before our logical minds catch up. When the universe is trying to protect you, it will speak to you through your nervous system. You might notice that every time you are about to meet a certain person, you feel a knot of anxiety in the pit of your stomach. Your shoulders might tense, your breath might become shallow, or you might feel a strange, lingering exhaustion after spending time with them. This is not just social fatigue. This is your life force energy being drained by an invisible leak. Toxic individuals often act as energetic vampires, feeding off the light and stability of others because they lack it within themselves. The universe uses these physical symptoms as a biological alarm system. It is telling you that your environment is no longer safe for your spirit. If you find yourself needing days to recover from a single afternoon with a particular friend or family member, take heed. The universe is showing you the cost of that connection. It is illustrating, in the clearest possible terms, that this person is costing you your health and your vitality. By making the cost visible and tangible, the universe is providing you with the evidence you need to justify your departure. It is an act of mercy, a physical nudge to step back before the damage becomes permanent. The third sign is perhaps the most mysterious and frustrating, yet it is also the most effective: the architecture of obstacles. Have you ever noticed how, sometimes, no matter how hard you try to make plans with someone, something always goes wrong? You schedule a dinner, and they cancel at the last minute. You try to call them, and the line drops or the call goes straight to voicemail. You might find that your schedules suddenly become completely incompatible, or that life keeps throwing distractions in the way every time you attempt to deepen the bond. To the casual observer, this looks like bad luck or poor timing. To the spiritual seeker, this is the hand of the universe physically moving you away. These missed connections are divine interruptions. The universe is creating a buffer zone between you and the toxic influence to give you space to breathe and think. It is purposefully stalling the relationship because it knows that if you were to meet today, you would only be drawn back into the web of their drama. These obstacles are not meant to frustrate you but to shield you. They are cosmic roadblocks placed on a path that leads to a dead end. When you stop fighting these interruptions and start observing them, you realize that every canceled plan was a moment you gained back for yourself. Every missed call was a bullet dodged. The universe is effectively saying that it has a better use for your time, and that this person no longer fits into the narrative of your upcoming chapters. As these obstacles grow more frequent, a fourth and more dramatic sign often emerges: the great unveiling. There comes a moment in the separation process where the universe decides that subtlety is no longer enough. To ensure that you truly let go and do not look back, the universe will often allow the truth to come to the surface in a way that is impossible to ignore. This is the moment the masks slip. You might accidentally discover a secret they have been keeping, or you might see them treat someone else with a level of cruelty that shocks you. Perhaps a third party comes forward with information that changes your entire perspective on who this person is. This unveiling can be incredibly painful because it involves the destruction of the image you had of them. However, it is a necessary part of the protection process. The universe knows that if it doesn't show you their true colors, your compassion will keep you tethered to them. You will keep making excuses for their behavior, and you will keep giving them one more chance. By exposing the truth, the universe is giving you the gift of clarity. It is shattering the illusion so that you can see the reality of the situation. This clarity is the key to your handcuff. Once you see the truth, you cannot unsee it. The bond of trust is broken, not because the universe is cruel, but because it wants you to be free. It is revealing the cracks in the foundation so that you don't build your future on a house that is destined to collapse. Finally, the fifth sign that the universe is separating you from toxic people is the emergence of a new kind of silence. This is not the heavy, oppressive silence of loneliness, but a vast, expectant silence that feels like a blank canvas. As the toxic individuals exit your life, you might find yourself spending more time alone than you are used to. At first, this might feel frightening. You might feel a sense of loss or a lingering void where the noise and chaos of those relationships used to be. But if you sit with this silence, you will realize it is a sanctuary. This is the universe clearing the stage for the next act of your life. It is the law of the vacuum. In order for something new and beautiful to enter, there must first be an empty space for it to occupy. In this period of solitude, your own voice becomes louder. You begin to rediscover your own interests, your own values, and your own peace. You realize that the noise of the toxic people was actually drowning out the guidance of your own soul. The universe uses this quiet period to recalibrate your spirit. It is preparing you for your true tribe, the people who will support you, inspire you, and love you without conditions. This silence is a sign that the pruning is complete and that the season of new growth is about to begin. It is the breath before the song, the stillness before the dawn. As we look at these 5 signs, it becomes clear that the universe is never working against us, even when it is taking things away. The process of separation is a deeply sacred one. It requires a level of trust that can be difficult to muster when we are in the midst of emotional turmoil. We must learn to trust that the universe has a much better view of the landscape than we do. From our perspective on the ground, we only see the person standing in front of us. We see the years we have invested and the memories we have shared. But from the perspective of the cosmos, the entire map of our lives is visible. The universe sees the paths that lead to joy and the paths that lead to destruction. It sees the people who will help us fulfill our destiny and the people who will unknowingly sabotage it. When the universe starts to pull someone away, it is because it sees a collision ahead that you cannot yet see. It is acting as your celestial bodyguard, stepping in to intercept a threat before it can reach you. Understanding this changes everything. Instead of fighting the separation, you can begin to flow with it. You can stop trying to repair the bridge that the universe is trying to burn. Sometimes, a bridge needs to be burned to prevent the wolves from following you into your new life. There is a profound strength in letting go. It is not an act of weakness or a failure of loyalty. It is an act of supreme self-love. It is an acknowledgement that your energy is sacred and that you have a responsibility to protect the temple of your spirit. When you allow the universe to remove the people who no longer serve your highest good, you are making a powerful statement to the cosmos. You are saying that you are ready for more. You are saying that you value yourself enough to walk alone rather than walk with those who would diminish your light. This journey of separation also teaches us about the nature of true connection. We begin to see that relationships are not meant to be burdens. They are not meant to be endless projects where we are the only ones doing the work. True connection is supposed to be a source of strength, a place of mutual growth and shared light. By removing the toxic counterfeits, the universe is refining your palate. It is teaching you how to recognize the feeling of genuine, healthy love. It is setting a new standard for how you expect to be treated and how you intend to show up for others. This is the period of the great refining. Just as gold is passed through the fire to remove its impurities, your social circle is being passed through the fire of divine truth to ensure that only the most resilient and supportive connections remain. We must also acknowledge the grief that comes with this process. Even when we know a person is toxic, letting them go can feel like losing a part of ourselves. We grieve the person we thought they were, the future we imagined with them, and the time we spent trying to make things work. The universe understands this grief. It does not expect you to be a stoic machine. It provides the space for you to cry, to feel the sting of betrayal, and to mourn the loss. But even in your mourning, the universe is holding you. It is providing you with small comforts, a beautiful sunset, a kind word from a stranger, or a sudden burst of creative inspiration. These are the reminders that you are still connected to the source of all life. You are never truly alone, even when your phone is silent and your calendar is empty. You are being reseated at the table of the divine, and the company you will keep there is far superior to the company you have left behind. Think of the life cycles of a star. In order for a star to become something new, it must often go through a period of intense pressure and eventual shedding of its outer layers. We are made of that same stardust, and our lives follow similar patterns of expansion and contraction. The contraction you feel as people are being pulled away is merely the prelude to a massive expansion. You are being compressed so that you can be launched into a new orbit. This new orbit will bring you into contact with souls who are vibrating at your new frequency. These are the people who will understand your language without you having to explain it. They are the ones who will see your light and not try to dim it. They are the ones who will celebrate your successes as if they were their own. But in order to meet them, you must have empty hands. You cannot hold onto the new blessings if your fingers are still tightly curled around the ghosts of the past. The universe is also protecting you from the subtle erosion of your character. Toxic people have a way of bringing out the worst in us. In their presence, we might find ourselves becoming defensive, bitter, or manipulative just to survive the interaction. We might start to gossip, to lie, or to shrink ourselves to fit their narrow expectations. Over time, this changes us. It blurs the edges of our integrity and dulls the brilliance of our soul. By separating you from these influences, the universe is preserving your essence. It is pulling you out of the mud so that your true colors can shine through again. It is giving you back yourself. This is perhaps the greatest protection of all. The universe isn't just protecting your physical safety or your emotional peace. It is protecting your destiny. It is ensuring that when you finally reach the place you are meant to be, you still recognize the person in the mirror. As you move through this period of transition, pay attention to the coincidences that feel like whispers. Notice the book that falls off the shelf, the song that plays on the radio just when you need to hear it, or the sudden urge to take a different route home. These are the universe's ways of guiding you through the fog. The separation process can feel like being lost at sea, but the universe is the North Star. It is always there, fixed and steady, guiding you toward the shore of your own potential. You do not need to know the entire map. You only need to trust the next step. If the next step is to stop answering a certain person's calls, take it. If the next step is to spend a weekend in total solitude, take it. Each small act of alignment reinforces your trust in the cosmic process and strengthens your connection to your own intuition. The universe is also teaching you the art of discernment. In the past, you might have been an open door, letting anyone and everyone into your inner sanctum. But through this process of being separated from toxic people, you are learning the value of your own boundaries. You are learning that not everyone is entitled to your time, your energy, or your story. This is a vital skill for the next stage of your life. The higher you climb, the more important it becomes to have a solid and selective inner circle. The universe is giving you a crash course in boundaries, showing you exactly what happens when you don't have them and providing you with the motivation to build them. These boundaries are not walls to keep the world out. They are gates that allow you to decide who is worthy of entering. When you finally emerge from this period of separation, you will look back and realize that every moment of pain was a moment of preparation. You will see that the friend who betrayed you was actually a teacher who taught you about self-worth. You will see that the partner who left you was actually making room for the one who will truly cherish you. You will see that the family member who distanced themselves was actually giving you the space you needed to heal. The narrative of your life will start to make sense in a way it never did before. You will see the patterns, the cycles, and the divine logic behind every loss. You will realize that you were never being rejected. You were being redirected. This redirection is a movement toward your true purpose. We often get so caught up in the drama of our relationships that we forget why we are actually here. We are here to learn, to grow, and to contribute our unique light to the world. Toxic relationships are massive distractions from this mission. They keep us focused on the small, the petty, and the temporary. They consume the energy that we should be using to build our dreams and serve our communities. By clearing away these distractions, the universe is handing you back your focus. It is saying, "Here is your life, now go and live it." It is removing the anchors so that your ship can finally leave the harbor and head for the open sea. The open sea can be intimidating, but it is also the place of infinite possibility. It is where the horizons are wide and the air is fresh. It is where you will discover what you are truly capable of. Without the weight of toxic opinions and the drag of constant drama, you will find that you can move faster and more gracefully than you ever thought possible. You will find that you have a reservoir of strength that was previously untapped. You will discover talents and passions that had been buried under the rubble of your old relationships. This is the rebirth that follows the separation. This is the reward for your courage and your trust. The universe is a master of timing. It never acts too early, and it never acts too late. It waited until you were strong enough to handle the truth. It waited until you had grown enough to realize that you deserved better. And now it is acting with decisive love to ensure that you don't stay in a place that is too small for your soul. If you feel the separation happening right now, take a deep breath and lean into it. Do not fight the current. Do not try to swim back to the sinking ship. Instead, look toward the shore. Look toward the new life that is waiting for you just beyond the horizon. The pain you feel is the pain of the chrysalis breaking, but what comes next is the flight. As you stand in your new, cleared space, you might feel a sense of vulnerability. This is natural. When we shed our old layers and our old connections, we are like a crab that has outgrown its shell. We are soft and exposed for a time. But the universe does not leave you unprotected during this period. It surrounds you with a different kind of shield, a shield of awareness. You are now more sensitive to energy, more aware of red flags,